Hey folks, welcome to Dre's Take. This week, I want to talk about what's been deemed the interest rate lock-in effect. As we receive a new article this morning from Florida Realtors titled, "Low Mortgage Rates Led to a Home Seller Strike." This mortgage rate lock-in effect is essentially homeowners who refinanced or purchased during the extremely low interest rate environment of say 2.5% or 3% or even 4% are reluctant to sell now or list their homes in order to upsize or downsize for fear of taking on a much higher mortgage rate. Now, I've talked about this in previous videos, and now my suspicions are just being confirmed. As these sellers are reluctant to come to market, it's causing a dramatic reduction in new listings and keeping the inventory situation dramatically low. As we're left with essentially just new construction, which is slowing down their pace of startups as well until they sell through their existing inventory, and what I like to call the 3Ds, debt, death, and divorce, the factors that force sellers to sell as the only means of new inventory. This creates an interesting situation where we are continuing to see this historically low level of inventory, even amidst the dramatic pullback in buyer demand. This is fortunately for homeowners, perhaps unfortunate for would-be buyers, creating a scenario where home values are staying relatively high. Overall activity is shrinking and less sales are taking place, but the home values are not falling off a cliff as one would assume. We're in a really weird space in the housing market and economy overall, but in the housing market specifically, we're in this funny phase where rules that applied in the past no longer hold true in the face of a convergence of multiple economic factors coming together in a way that we just simply haven't seen before. You used to be able to say, oh, rates went up, home prices are coming down. Well, in the face of the inventory crisis that we've been in the midst of for quite some time now, that no longer holds true. So where do we go from here? Are we entering some sort of 21st century feudal state where those with land remain king and the large institutional investors who have snagged up all the land over their last handful of years own everything while everyone else is just forced to stay chasing their tail in the rent race? I guess I just have to say, land is essentially king, always has been, always will be. If you can afford or manage to get your hands on a piece of land, I'd suggest you probably should. That's not just trying to sell you a piece of land, that's just saying for your own future benefit. We're seeing now the proof is in the pudding. The new construction builders are slowing down the pace of new starts on single family home construction, and they're pivoting towards multifamily. They're seeing the writing on the wall and building up apartment complexes as fast as they can because they are racing to meet that ever-growing demand of rental properties as your everyday buyer or would-be buyer has been pushed out of the market. At this point, I feel bad for folks. And the only way I know how to help is to share the information and be there as a facilitator to help folks acquire a property if they can. Even if that means coming to terms with and getting over the spilled milk and regret of not buying earlier. For some good data and more insight as to what's going on, I'm going to link the article obviously in my weekly email and in the video below as well. Feel free to take a look at that. Until next time, that's Dre's Take. Take care.